the Two Old Farts. My name is Chuck.
I'm Lou. I'm feeling better part of the two old farts.
Hey, you look
See,
pretty good.
look at this. Floor's Country Store, huh?
Yeah, see that shirt. What's on the back?
What's on the back? Can you see it?
The customer is always wrong here.
That's right. But for being wrong, we get pretty good service here.
Yeah, we had pretty good service.
That lady liked your mom good enough, she gave her a free drink, huh?
Yeah, she did. Yep, my mom definitely enjoys free.
That was better than paying the $70 we paid down at the football game. We got a lot more out of it.
Oh my God, $70, 2 beers, and 2 things of tacos, which was basically just some street tacos for each of us. $70.
You got to pay for the experience, right?
Whew. That was a lot of experience we paid for.
But that show was a good show. I got a renewed, what you want to call it, for Blackberry Smoke. I will tell you, they just get better with time, or I'm just getting old and don't hear good or something. But I really enjoyed their concert. I thought it was pretty good.
It was definitely, in mine and Brenda's opinion, a lot better than the last time they were here. Not that it was bad then. It just seemed like, I don't know, they were more lively. The crowd was definitely larger and more lively.
Yeah.
It was just a different vibe. They were feeling it. The crowd was feeling it. Everybody was having a great time. And their music, it's just good rock and roll country music. You can just sit back, have a drink, and just enjoy yourself.
You know, your mom and I are talking. It's amazing, she and I, how many people know the words to all the songs and stuff. Hell, I can't even remember one.
But it's no different than when you were that age.
Yeah.
And, the music that you listen to, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings and Willie and all that. You know those lyrics. It's no different.
Oh, at least some of them. But
yeah,
I tell you what, I really enjoyed their music. I don't know why. Maybe this time, I don't know. It was just fun. It was good.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with who you were at a younger age. You felt like, this is who I am, and this is the box that I have to be in. And as you're coming out of this box and being exposed to newer things, it takes time to get to know it and appreciate it and love it. Like the first time I took you to Jamie Johnson after the concert, you were like, yeah, it was okay. A couple of years later, you act like you just discovered Jamie Johnson. He was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, Dad, I took you there a couple of years ago. He goes, I know. But man, it's like it takes time for you to find it for yourself, I think.
And it's strange now. He's a regular on the Grand Ole Opry and all that kind of stuff. And everybody talks about how they're playing with Jamie Johnson, or how he sits on with their group and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he's not as big as you would think he would be, as many people that talk about him.
Exactly.
He's not Chris Stapleton big. He's definitely not Kenny Chesney big.
No, but you sure hear a lot out of me. I mean, a lot of these folks talk about the sessions with Jamie Johnson, and even I listen to Sirius XM and Willie's Roadhouse, and all that kind of stuff, and they're talking about him all the time.
Mm-hmm. Because he's such a throwback. Really, hey, I think you froze up on me. You still there?
Uh-oh.
Hey, old man, you still there?
Well, I'm here. It said it was trying to connect to the internet. I don't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, you froze on me. I'm telling you, technology is going to be the death of us.
It just goes what we've been talking about the last couple of times. This internet stuff and the connections. It's got us by
the short curlies. But you were talking about Jamie Johnson and all the people playing with him, and then you froze on us.
Yeah, just here, like on Sirius, on the Willie's Roadhouse, on that networks. All these guys talk about him and sitting with him in sessions and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat. But you're right, you don't hear that much out of him nationally as much as you would think with somebody talk about somebody like that all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about at the concert, that Jamie Johnson and Blackberry Smoke, when they were young and up and comers, played with George Jones and redid Yesterday's Wine.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the first songs that I introduced you to Blackberry Smoke and Jamie Johnson years ago. I'm like, you need to check these guys out. And seeing them with George Jones, I think gave them instant credibility in your eyes.
I'm just glad these guys still come around. I'm glad that floors and some of these venues can get them every now and then. But I'm going to tell you, that was a huge crowd out there.
It
I
was
thought
packed.
Clay Walker had a big crowd, but I think this one had it beat.
It definitely looked a lot tighter and more packed in, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like I said several times, it's fun going to floors. As a general rule, it's pretty well behaved. I mean, nobody really gets out of line. Most everybody's kind of friendly and stuff, and the service from floors, to me, is top notch. I haven't had a bad experience there. We've been going a long time, or I can't remember one.
Yeah, we've been going over 10 years.
Yeah, and that young lady that was, serving in our area, well, she was busy.
Yeah, she was. And, that was the funny thing, those 2 reserved tables, nobody ever came.
Nobody came.
But there was no names on them. So I don't know if they were for the artist or the promoter, but there was no names on them, which means Floors did not sell those tables.
Yeah, because you would think if it hadn't sold, they would have sold them sometime during the show. Somebody would have bought them, All you had to do is mention
that they're for sale, yeah, and people will buy them.
That's a good experience, and you pay a little bit more up there, but you get a good view. You get the service, you clean restrooms in that area.
Oh,
and your mom
exactly.
could see. Your mom could see she had a light in there. She didn't fall and get a big bruise on her arm like last time.
Oh, in the porta potty?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway.
You know what? I need to buy some chemical lights, those little chem lights where you crack them and take some to the concert the next time that we have to go to the porta potty. Like,
you had to walk behind her and throw it in because she wouldn't take it. I can see.
Yeah, but you're her seeing eye dog. You have to go with her every time she goes to the bathroom.
Anyway, did you watch any of the football draft?
Yesterday, Brenda had to go help her mom a little bit, and so I had a heck of a time trying to find the replay of the first round of the draft. I found it on YouTube. I couldn't find it on ESPN. I couldn't, they had rounds 2 and 3, and then they had the rest of the stuff going live, but I could not find the draft day, round 1 draft. I found it on YouTube, and I watched, I don't know, through 5 or 6.
It was pretty good.
I don't know. Just for me, I just wasn't excited, and maybe it had to do with Saban retiring, and maybe it had to do with us, not getting out of the first round of the championship, losing to Michigan. I think that just kind of soured me a bit on, the hype of the NFL. But we had 10 players again go into the draft.
10 players again. That's how many years in a row now?
Been a lot. The only team that beat us was Michigan, and was it Georgia again?
Let's see.
Or was
Michigan
it Ohio
had
State?
13, Texas had 11, and we had
that was
2.
It was Texas that beat us. That's correct.
Hey,
but we set some records. The first kicker drafted since 19.
Oh yeah,
Will Reichard.
Yep, he went way down the line with it.
And one of our players, the first time since the 70s, I think, Mr. Irrelevant, the cornerback.
We had Georgia holds the most record for draft selections
in first round.
But Miami is tied with us for second place with 6 in the first round. We had 3 in the first round this year?
Yes, 3, and that's still pretty good.
It is.
But you know what? That also shows, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of other Alabama nation, that there has been a drop-off, a decline in the talent. And I think it is mostly attributable to the coaching. The fact that the coaches have been rated out of our hen house, gone other places, and he can't get consistency in there. And I'm telling you, since we lost Sarkisian and what was the Ole Miss coach, Lane Kiffin. Since we lost those 2, there has been a distinct drop off in our offensive production.
Well, defense goes back further than that. When we lost Kirby, defense hasn't been nowhere near at the level when Kirby was there.
Yeah. It picked back up when we had that guy for 1 year. I cannot remember his name. He came from New England, spent 1 year as our defensive coordinator. Then he went to Buffalo.
Right.
But he was only there for 1 year, and
Yep.
it picked up after that. The cat we had from UTSA, he did okay for a couple of years, but the defense, it just wasn't quite up to the standard of Nick Saban. Was always a front seven kind of a guy.
But Saban has 47 first round picks in his career, 41 at Alabama, which is more than Joe Paterno and a lot of the others, But he's had 44 first round picks out of 129 players. So he leads that in that area.
In this past Super Bowl, there was a lot of Alabama players on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, if you're looking at players that started 1 year or more at Alabama, 2010, 2017, 55% were drafted. Next best school is Ohio State at 45, then the Gators and FSU at 43, and LSU at 41. So for 17 years at Alabama, he 6 national championships and
our first Heisman.
Yep. Bryce Young, our first Heisman, number 1 overall pick.
Mark Ingram.
So
Ingram was our first Heisman pick.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Ingram.
Yes.
He was our first.
You're right. First Heisman quarterback, I guess I should say, or first quarterback to go first.
Well, yeah, but we also had Smitty. He got the Heisman.
Well, I was just fixing to say, we had a couple birthdays this week. Snake, Leroy Jordan. Now, I'm going to tell you what. Now, that was a ball player. He was one of my favorites.
Jordan or Stabler?
Leroy Jordan. Well, I like Kenny Stabler too, but Leroy, Bear Bryant is a little Leroy. If he stayed between the sidelines, Leroy would get him. He did pretty good with the Cowboys too. I loved the Cowboys back then.
When before Jerry Jones bought the team, I think a lot of people liked the Cowboys, and I think now, I don't know.
But when you're the owner, you can do what you want to do, right?
Yeah, to the detriment of your fan base and the team.
But that's what makes it fun and makes it what you want to watch. And I saw this funny cartoon yesterday that was talking about somebody that said, we don't need a number 1 pick. So they showed Jerry Jones with a helmet and a jersey and the shoulder pads on with number 14. Said, we got him. I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway,
so what did you think of the draft?
I thought we did pretty good. I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to it this year. I didn't think we'd do as good as we did because we didn't have any really named players that you hear. Because you had Braswell, you had Riker, Turner.
Turner.
A couple more, but to come up with 10 in the whole draft, I thought we did real well. I'm gonna tell you, I'm excited about what's coming. Everything that I see makes me really excited for the fall. I'm looking forward to see how we do and what I hear from the players. Now, talk is cheap, but what I hear from the players and stuff like that, it sounds pretty exciting. And I'm looking forward to seeing Saban on game day. I didn't read that one article, but some people had some good things to say about him. I guess there's a couple players that didn't like some of the things he said about him, but
that's what he gets paid to do, and
absolutely. So,
but he was really high on Jaden Daniels, the quarterback out of LSU. He was super high on him.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so. I thought he was a good ball player. I wish he had played with us, but
he'd have been a Heisman winner. We probably would have had some better receivers, and I think we might have gone a little bit deeper in the CFP.
But it was nice to see Jerome Burton get drafted pretty high.
Yeah.
As one of our receivers. So next year it's going to be kind of like starting all over again. We don't really, Jalen Milroe and a couple others who don't have a lot of name brand players that you normally would have from year to year, talk about going into the next year and stuff like that.
But seeing him at the A-Day game, he's got much better touch and control, and I think that's going to make up with those younger receivers. I think with him, that maturation process with him, I think it's going to translate onto the field with those receivers, and I think he's going to build some chemistry.
And And I think having Ty Simpson with the improvement he's made at
Oh
quarterback,
man, like
I
night and
think that's
day.
going to help us too.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I think so too. So we've got some
uh,
depth on the bench if, you know, God forbid something happens to Milrow.
well, and I look at it a different way too. I think it puts some pressure on Milrow. Pressure may not be the right word. I think he'll probably come out and play better than he probably has because I think he's going to be out to prove some things. He wants to go high in the draft, and he knows you got somebody on the bench that come in and replace you pretty quick if you're not careful. From everything that you can see so far.
Yeah, we just got to get some wide receivers and some D backs, and I think we're going to be great. The line on both sides looks good. Linebackers look good. The running backs, oh my God, we are stacked from top to bottom, man. We got like a 4 or 5 headed monster back there, and we
And
haven't
I
had
think
that in a while now.
exactly. Yeah, and the other thing too, Washington had quite a few players drafted, so that kind of talks about the coach that leaving Washington coming to us and his ability to develop players and how they did what they did and stuff like that. So it's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, the Falcons. Your Falcons took Michael Penix Jr.
I think that's a good. I think that's good for them.
I think so
Falcons.
too. I felt the sorriest for Michael Penix Jr. last year, and I'm sure you remember me talking about how he was always probably the most underrated out of all of the top-rated quarterbacks. Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody gave him any love or respect. Everybody's talking about Caleb Williams, and I'm like, what has he done other than a name?
Right.
He's not winning games. Penix Jr.'s winning games, and he's winning them with Washington.
And I just like his play. I'm excited for the Falcons. I think that's good for them. I'm not sure if he'll start, but I'll tell you what, he'll put some pressure on them, and I think by the end of the season he will start. I like the Falcons. I haven't really looked into any of the teams on how they did on the draft and and stuff like that. So it'd be fun.
Oh, I think so too. I think that was a heck of a move for the Falcons to get him.
We'll see. Yeah, it always amazes me. The top two teams seems to always put the most players in the draft, don't they?
Yep. But you know what's strange though is the Falcons just gave Kirk Cousins that huge deal, and then they turn around and they draft Penix, which means I think they're looking at backing up their investment.
I think that's a good move on the Falcons' part.
And you know who else they drafted? Dallas Turner.
Yep. So that's going to help them on defense. Falcons looking pretty good. The team that I'm surprised and you don't hear much about it anymore has been New England.
Yeah, they were very quiet.
Yep. So I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, where did Bo Nix go? He went to Tampa? No, or did he go to Broncos?
I don't remember.
I think he went to Denver.
And I'm happy for him. I think he was somewhat underrated in some respects. I think him leaving Auburn and going out to the West Coast was probably good for him. What was it, Oregon?
Yeah, he was at Oregon.
I always thought he was a pretty good quarterback when he was at Auburn. So we'll see. It's be a good year.
I think so. So yeah, we will see. I don't know about Chicago and Caleb Williams. Just wasn't a fan of him.
Yeah, and I don't remember too much about it, but Detroit seems to be have done pretty good in the draft, and been some conversation about some of their picks and the last couple of years how they've
they kind of turned it around.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see. And Eagles, I think the Eagles did pretty good too. They drafted a couple ball players, and so backing up their talent and stuff. So it's going to be a good season. I think Eagles and Detroit both will probably be pretty strong last year. Of course, the Eagles got to replace the center. So it'll be good.
Now it just seems like there's another big like football. Now we got to wait. The draft is over. College football's over. The spring games are over. It's like, damn, we got to find something else to talk about besides Alabama, man.
Well, we got the College World Series softball coming up pretty soon, and we got the baseball Little League World Series pretty soon, and in about another month or so in June. Then
I thought the Little League World Series was in August.
That's right, in August. Then we got the
And that's months away.
The college softball World Series up in Oklahoma will be what, June, May, end of May,
June, I
first part of
think.
June.
I think it's
So
in June.
I was watching Georgia and Florida a while ago. Florida was leading 2-0 for a long time. Then all of a sudden, Georgia and they were leading. Then in the seventh inning, Florida went on a tear, and it was when I turned it off to go to the bathroom, it was like 10-2, 10-4, a grand slam, a 3-run homer, and then a single homer, and the next thing you know, the bases loaded. I like watching those kind of ball games and stuff. It gets excited.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I got some stuff for you.
What you got for me, old man?
You don't raise heroes, you raise sons. And if you treat them like sons, they'll turn out to be heroes, even if it's just in your own eyes. That's
Okay.
you. I'm
man.
proud of you, what you do, and the awards you just achieved here recently at Lycan for the work you do. And another one I like is the years will rush by, and by one day you'll be watching your son as a man and feeling incredibly proud that he is caring, safe, making a contribution, and hopefully going far beyond you in the scope of his life. To see you when you're at home, going up to that gas station, kicking your ass, get up because you're drunk.
Not one of my finest moments.
Then to see where you're at now, and in that conversation we had about, I want to help the enlisted. Well, I said, get your degree, get you a commission. So what'd you do? You went to warrant school.
Mm-hmm.
Came out of there and you made 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I remember correctly, pretty much on time in all 4.
Yeah, I made it when I was supposed to make it, and I was well on my way to W5 when I retired.
And had a shot at 5, but then you had to make a decision.
And I still do not regret that decision.
Do I?
I still don't regret it.
No.
You told me when you said you will know when it's time to retire.
And you make decisions based on what your family needs, and that's what makes me proud of you.
But like I said, I wasn't excited, and to be nominated for W5 by your assignment manager, like, hey, we got this W5 job, and we think you'd be great for it, and then you just aren't excited to take it. That's when you know it's time to go.
Yeah, you do. And that's what all through my whole career, I'd ask people, how do you know? And they'd always say, you'll know. And then one day I got up, I just went straight to personnel. Didn't even go to work. And I told this lady I want to retire. She said, when? I said, today. She said, we can't quite do it that quick. That was in October, and January 1st of 83, it was official, but and there's another one. I got a lot of sayings here about you and your sister. Giving your son a skill is better than giving him 1,000 pieces of gold. Old
I believe that.
Proverb. Yeah. If you would have your son to walk honorably through the world, you must not attempt to clear the stones from his path, but teach him to walk firmly over them. Not insist upon leading him by the hand, but let him learn to go along. That's you. Of all the ones I read, I think that one describes you the best. I remember back in Georgia with your Suzuki, going through those 2 damn pine trees. I thought you were going to kill yourself because they're just inches on each side of the handlebars for you to go through. You jumped over that cliff down there, and I said, oh,
I don't think them trees were quite as close as you make them out to be, but they were just on the other side of the path that I, would go up get some air, lay that motorcycle down. I had fun. I loved that motorcycle.
Yes, you did, and
that was probably the best gift I had ever gotten, and I had the most enjoyment out of it.
We'd probably still have that motorcycle if your mom had left me alone.
I got too big for it, when we moved to Texas. It got
stolen out of a backyard, out of the,
Yep. But you found it. You got it back.
Going by Lycan, that place where we were renting from, and I saw that boy ride it down across that field. And I went chasing him, and I told your mom, open the door and knock him down. I was going to open the door and knock him off that damn motorcycle.
Yeah, I remember that story. But we got it back.
Yep. So, another one I liked is let your boys test their wings. They may not be eagles, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't soar free. That is so true. It's hard not to tell you what to do and make you do and stuff like that. But you got to learn from those mistakes. You got to go out and do the things that you want to do and have fun. And it's hard to.
It's hard as a parent to let your children fail, to know they're going to fail.
Yeah, but what they have to. How do you learn if you don't fall? You got to learn how to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go at it again. And the thing about it is you have to learn from those mistakes. And that's one of the things I can give you credit for. You learn from your mistakes. I can't recall a single time you just done the same dumb shit twice in a row.
I don't know, 2 or 3 times.
I'm sure you probably have. But if you did, it was probably insignificant or you would remember it. Now, your mom would probably remember everything.
Yeah,
She don't forget anything.
She don't forget nothing. Jesus may forgive, but a woman never forgets.
Here's another one of my favorites. When a father gives to his son, both laugh. When a son gives to his father, both cry. That is so true, because when it comes from you to a father, you know it's coming from the heart.
Well,
and that's
you come from the heart. You give from the heart, and that's why I enjoy doing so much with you, because we have so much fun. And it wasn't always like that growing up. We were bumping heads even as adults. When me coming up, we would bump heads.
Well, that goes back that you watch them grow up. You don't want to make the same mistakes you did. And sometimes you want to get them in the right path and you're not sure how to do it. So you go back to how you were treated when you grew up. And sometimes that's not always the best way.
No.
Different individuals, different times. That doesn't make any of them bad or good or anything like that. That's just the way life is, and that's how we learn from those kind of things.
Like we were talking about Friday, how your dad was with you was not the same way he was with me.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah.
I was like the little prince that could do no wrong.
Yeah, a lot of different reasons. You're the first grandson, and I don't have any grandsons, but I'm as proud of my granddaughters as I would be if I had grandsons.
Hey, me either. I don't have any grandsons either.
Yeah, so. But I remember your grandfather, Bob Charbonneau, how proud he was of you too. Yes, you had 2 fathers, even though I remember him. It was a big deal to him want to give you your first haircut. Not what your mom wanted, but you know what? To me, that was important because that's what he wanted. That's what made him happy. And that's what life's all about.
It's just hair. It grows back, right?
Absolutely. Well, in most cases. Sometimes when you get older, it don't grow back as fast. Start losing a little bit on top.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little uneven on the sides, and it makes it look worse when your hair is the color that ours is. You can really see,
Well, you got your Uncle Reuben's hair. He was always gray. I don't ever remember seeing any other color on Uncle Reuben.
I used to think you were always gray, and not too long ago, our good friend, my childhood friend David, he had sent some pictures, and there were some pictures, I guess, when he had come to visit, or that we had sent him. I don't remember, but I was in high school, and there were pictures of you, and your hair was almost as black as your T-shirt there.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite, but it was still pretty dark. So you were in your 40s at that point, and it was still pretty dark. Now, my hair in my 40s looked pretty much like this.
Yep.
Maybe a little more brown than the silver and white, but I mean, I pretty much looked like this since my late 30s.
And that's your grandfather's side of the family, Uncle Reuben. And probably Papa would have been that color too if he didn't color it all the time.
Probably.
And stuff like that. I got one more to share with you.
All right.
Next time we're going to talk about your sister and daughters and maybe granddaughters.
Okay.
Every father should remember that one day his son will follow his example rather than his advice.
Well, you never really gave me any advice on what to do in my life. The only advice that I can ask for that I got, and it was from you and Brenda's father, both of you all. It was while I was still stationed in Germany, right around the time when Brenda and I were getting married. I was coming up on that crossroads. I was going to hit 10 years in the Army, or close to 11, and it was re-enlistment time. And I was really thinking about getting out of the Army. because I remember Mom's mom telling me, she said, when you hit 20, you're working for half pay. Well, also, if you're one day over 10, you might as well do 20, right? Because you're closer
Yep.
to retirement than you are when you started. But I also remember both you and Brenda's dad both told me, look, I can't tell you what to do, but this is what I would say if it was for me. You're not going to regret getting that retirement check at the end of the,
Yeah.
you've already gone halfway.
Right.
You're already halfway up.
Yeah. The other half, and you still gonna be young. You got at 20. The average person is probably about 38, something like that.
And I don't regret staying in, and that's probably because I listened to my wife and I put in my warrant officer packet and I got selected, and I think I did pretty well. I think I had a pretty good career.
Well, I think you did damn well. I am really proud of you. Yeah. You got that going down, and if I remember correctly, me and Brenda pinned your first warrant bar on you at,
Mm-hmm.
at Fort Rucker. Then you just so many different amazing things, and all the stuff you've done and place you're, and then where you're at now. You know, this latest award that you got as a civilian of the quarter. Now you're going up for the next level, and that's what, the second time or third time that you've been civilian of the quarter. I can't remember.
In this unit, yeah, I think it's like the third time.
Yeah,
But
so
a few other times in the past.
And that speaks volume of you. It speaks volume about Brenda. Having a wife that loves you.
Puts up with you.
You're right. And they put up with us. And that's a huge difference. And sometimes we don't give them credit. That's why it's such a big deal with me, with the DAV, working that we do more to support the spouses and children of and our women veterans, because on the short end of the stick, most of the time. So if you're a veteran out there, and talk to your lawmakers and make sure that we do the things that not only support our veterans, but we need to support the spouse and the children more benefit-wise. They shouldn't have to endure hardships later on in life down the road and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, we don't want to end on a sour note, but we've gone way over time.
Well, I'll leave you with one final thought. When your son grows up, become his brother.
And I think you are. I think we go out and we have a good time.
I do, and that's one of the things I really enjoy about what we do. And I keep all those little armbands and things like that we got. It's just members, and it's not like I'm taking my son out, going out with my son. It's like when me and Gene, we go do things, So anyway, I'm very proud of you.
Well, thank you. I'm proud of you too. I just wanted to be half the man that you were.
Well, I don't know about that. Sometimes I got half here and I got half over here. I'm not sure where the hole comes in from.
Comes in down here.
All right. But it's been a good one.
Yeah, it has. We got to go do some more things.
Yeah, I guess we got some things coming up here pretty soon. Nothing for us in the near future, I don't think.
Yeah, we got June. We got June. We got Molly Hatchet.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't think you and I have anything going on in May. We got Molly Hatchet in June and George Thorogood in June.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to that one.
I know you love some George Thorogood.
Yeah.
And then in July, we got Aaron Lewis.
Well, we got some good things coming up.
Yeah, we do.
I'm looking forward to that George Thorogood. When we went to that one, I'm going to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. I knew it was going to be good, but it was a whole lot better than what I thought. It kind of make me think a little bit about what went through this past weekend with Blackberry Smoke. That kind of music. And
maybe if you would just trust me when I tell you you'll like it. Maybe if you just trusted me.
That's true.
Just trust me.
All right. We'll give a shout out to your Aunt Carolyn, and hopefully one day we'll get her on here with us.
Yeah, we got to get her on the computer because I still have not figured out how to get the cable that can do the in and out on the USB into my mixer.
Yeah, I might talk to your Uncle Bobby, maybe get him on one day. That'd be fun.
Alrighty. Yeah, it would. We might have to do a 2-part with him. I'm sure the
Probably.
interview will go so long we'll have to chop it up into like pieces.
That's true. All right.
All right. Love you, Dad.
Love you too, son. You have
All
a
right.
good one.
All right.
And
Goodbye,
behave.
everybody.
Don't make me get my stick out.
No, I won't. All right. Bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Love you too. Love you guys.